Okay, so we're getting you ready for a test on probability. It's just, we decided to break up the big probability unit into two tests. Give one of the tests tomorrow, Friday, and then the other one in about a week-ish after that. So instead of going 2 weeks and then one big test, we're splitting them up into two. And the first thing you got to know is how to count. It's called the counting principle. You just multiply your choices together. Do you remember me saying multiply choices? I bet I've said it 16 times in the last 3 days. Multiply your choices. So, how many choices do you have for math classes? This is actually true. You may not think about it, but you have a lot of choices for next year. You could take FST, you could take stats, or you could take pre-calc. There you go. There's 3 choices for math for next year. Okay? In the real world, you have 3 choices. I don't know if there's really 4 different English options. There might be, but let's say that there is. Like, there's probably one that's an AP. There's probably one that's an IB. You could probably take just regular English. You could probably take some kind of honors English. I don't know. Maybe there's 4 choices. Next one is 2 social studies, and then 2, and then 2. What do you do with all these choices? You multiply them. That's all there is to it. So it's 3 times 4 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 6. And that's how many different schedules you could have. So when you have a whole bunch of choices, you multiply your choices. All right. So go ahead and do that one. This is the first one in your worksheet. You got to multiply those out. You probably have to grab a calculator to do that. If you want to use your iPad's calculator, it's totally fine. But you know what? Save some time. What's 4 times 3? 12. Times 2, 24. Times 2, 48. And maybe at that point it starts getting too hard for you to do, and you go 48 times, and then these two make 12. So it's really just 48 times 12. What is 48 times 12? It is 576. Can anybody verify they got the exact number? Excellent. Okay, cool. So you just multiply your choices. Do you get this actually works in the real world? You go to a restaurant and you go, how many choices of pop are there? Oh, there's 6 different kinds of pop. Times how many different hamburgers are there? Let's say there's like 5 different kinds of hamburgers. Well, that's 5 times 6 is 30 different combos you could have. And then if you add in like different kinds of fries, you know, at Arby's you can get curly fries or crinkle fries or, I don't know, some other kind of fries. Let's say there's 3 choices of fries. You times that by 3 and you keep getting more and more meals. At one point, McDonald's said you could come to our restaurant and have over 1 million meals. What they're doing is they're saying, because you have all these choices, you just multiply your choices, there could be 1 million different combinations. Isn't that crazy? It's really true. Because a lot of times you don't even think about some of the little things like how many different kinds of pop they have. Holy crap, they have tons of different kinds of pop. Plus, they have all these different kinds of coffee. Plus, they have all these different like desserts. You multiply it all together, 1 million choices. All right. Next one is where you have a license plate. These have blanks. It says 4 digits followed by 2 letters. I'm going to make the letters a different color. Well, how many different digits are there? 10. And you multiply your choices again. But sometimes they limit your choices. Like here, they said the first digit cannot be 0. Oh, dang. I guess I don't have 10 choices. What do I have? 9. So I'm going to change that to a 9. And then the first letter must be a B. Well, how many choices do you have if it has to be a B? 1. Still got 10 choices for the last one. See how that works? You're just multiplying choices. So I told you like 5 things at the beginning on the very first day. I said multiply choices. And that covers both of these first 2 questions. One of them, I'll get into the ands and ors and stuff in a minute. But that's the more complicated stuff. Yes?
I thought the letters were 26.
Oh, thank you. Which ones are letters? The black ones there?
Yeah.
So then that should be a 26. Thank you very much. There was more than one person raising their hand, and I was like, I wonder why these people have questions. Thank you. All right. So, next. Pausing. Okay, I decided to pull an audible, which is where the quarterback walks up and goes, wait, we're not going to run that play. We're going to run this other one. All right? So, Tate, name 2 sports that you play.
Hockey, lacrosse.
Okay. Hockey. L for lacrosse. And you obviously are in here. How many kids do you know that play hockey and lacrosse? Ballpark. That combo, hockey and lacrosse.
A lot. I don't know.
Is there? Is there like 10-ish or more?
Probably 10. We'll just go with 10.
10 sounds fine. Okay. So then just hockey players, there's got to be a lot more people that play hockey but not lacrosse. We're like talking like 30, 40? I mean,
I have no idea.
okay, that's fair. I'm going to make up a number and say it's 40 kids because I'm guessing there's more people that play just hockey. And then of the two sports on the varsity level, how many lacrosse players would there be compared to hockey players? Is there more lacrosse players or less lacrosse players?
Less lacrosse players.
Okay. So let's say that there's 25. All right. And then these are all the kids that don't play hockey or lacrosse. And that's going to be a lot. Let's say there's 400. Okay. Now, here's the hard part, is understanding how they're asking the question. If I say H-U-L, you have to know what that means. Hockey and lacrosse, and what is a union? I tried to help you remember that this was an or, because I put a little O and an R above each of those little stalks. And then I said, small word, but a big answer. Well, this adds up to 475 kids total. Now, if I were you, I'd go like this and put a 475 right here. I always put my total in the upper left-hand corner. It's not a rule of life, but I'm telling you, almost every problem uses this number to get the probabilities. You use that a ton, so you're going to want that number. Okay, now, or, I totally get, this can be confusing, but if you asked this group of people and said, do you play hockey or lacrosse? They would say, yeah, I play hockey. Do you ask these people, do you play hockey or lacrosse? They'd be like, yeah, I play both of them. But they still would say yes. And to these people, do you play hockey or lacrosse? They'd say, yeah, I play lacrosse. How about these people? They would say no. They're the only people that would say no. That's why I say it's a big answer. It includes all three parts. So 40, 50, 60, 75. 3 out of the 4 spots. So 75 is what it adds up to. Out of 400. Now the opposite of that is P of H intersect L. Do you remember me telling you it was like an intersection like Highway 101 and 7? And there's not much where that road actually crosses. The actual pavement involved, there are tons of square feet of pavement of Highway 7, but only a little bit of it is the intersection. Intersections are small. The word for them is and to me, that kind of looks like an N right here. I'm going to make it blue. That kind of looks like an N in the letter and. And ands are small. Ors are big. So this answer was 10 out of 400. Who was thinking about the 10 out of 400? Be honest, how many of you would have had that one? Okay. Look at it then. Do you understand that that symbol means intersect? And intersections are like where the two roads cross. And so therefore it's the 10. All right. And I keep saying 400. Darn it, it's not out of 400. What's it out of, everybody? You should have been correcting me. 475. I wrote it at the top. I apologize. It's right there. 475. Okay. On your homework for today, on the first question, they will accept decimals, they will accept fractions, and they'll accept it if you reduce the fractions. So could I leave it just like that? Yes. Could I have reduced it? Yes. Do you know how to do it on your calculator? If you type in the fraction and hit enter, it'll reduce it for you. If you didn't know that, on those big calculators, it can do that too. But otherwise, if you just type it in your calculator, you usually just get the decimal. If you ever want to learn how to reduce a fraction, it's kind of cool. I can show you. You just got to bring me one of those graphing calculators and I can show you how. All right, then here's the third kind of question. Given hockey, what's the probability of lacrosse? Okay, if I just wanted hockey, I would have said 50 out of 475. Do you get how hockey would be 50? the 40 and the 10.
Yep.
So 50 out of 475. But if I want given hockey, it is not out of 475 anymore. Think about that. If I'm only going to ask the hockey players, I'm going to highlight that now. I'm only asking the hockey players. There's only 50 people I could talk with. So how could it be out of 475? It couldn't. It'll be out of 50. Because that's all of the people that are possible if I'm only given to talk to hockey players. Now, out of those, I highlighted them. There's only two numbers, the 40 and the 10. Which one is the lacrosse people? So 10 out of 50 is that answer. Process that. Kayla, can you understand why it's not out of 475? Because you're only talking to hockey players. That's why it's out of 50. Could you reduce that? Yeah. We're going to kind of de-emphasize that though, so don't stress if you forget to reduce it. 5 out of 25 would be better. And then you could reduce that again to 1 out of 5. So this could reduce to 1/5. But on your Schoology quiz, you can reduce them. You can give them decimals. 1 divided by 5 would be 0.2. Or you could say 10 out of 50. All right. I want to do one more Venn diagram because they're so important and it's just really likely you're going to have, if you're going to have any trouble, it'll be on these. So let's practice it so you're just solid with it. All right. Ava, what's 2 activities that you are in? Could be sports, could be other things, whatever.
Lacrosse.
Don't say hockey.
Soccer.
Okay. All right. Is LAX is that the abbreviation for lacrosse? I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So this time you have to make the diagram. So everybody draw these 2 circles. And I'm going to give you the facts, Jack. L intersect S is 0.2. If you know where to put that, put it. 0.2 means 20%. That means 20% of the people are in lacrosse intersected with soccer. That's 0.2, which is 20%. That goes in there somewhere. Next, lacrosse, just all by itself. Wait. Probability of lacrosse, sorry. Should be putting probability of. The probability of lacrosse is 0.6. Now, some people are going to be tempted to put the 0.6 right here. It's not there. That's the most common mistake, so don't do that. All right, last probability I'm going to give you. Probability of lacrosse union soccer. It's 0.9. You should, from that info, be able to fill in these 4 blue blanks. The people that are in the middle are called the intersection. These are all decimals, like 0.3, 0.9, 0.1. They all add up to 1.0 also, by the way. If you think you've got it and yours don't add up to 1.0, you did something wrong. This, one of the hardest questions, so don't underestimate and be sure you pay attention when I reveal the answer. But right now I'd like you to turn and talk to the kid next to you and see if your decimals are in the same spot as theirs. So let's see if you did this right. First off, did you know that this intersect meant this spot right here, and therefore you needed a 0.2 right there? Who had the 0.2 in the middle? Good. Xavier, can you tell me what the union means?
Does that mean like both of them?
Kind of both, except there's 3 spots. It's the biggest answer. It's all 3 of these spots. Have to add up to 0.9. Can I do that yet?
No.
No, because I don't know what, there's 3 spots. I only know one of them. That's where Nina can help us out with the L. This part right here, Nina.
Is that 0.3?
So where would the 0.3, you think it's 0.3, where would that go? Right here?
The cross one, or, no, actually it's 0.4.
There you go. Nice job. I was hoping I wouldn't have to correct you. That's 0.4 because together they make 0.6. I guarantee you there's some kid that thought that right where we put the 0.4, they put a 0.6. That's wrong. Together, these two make 0.6. That and that together. Because they both play lacrosse. All right. And last, Daniel. Now that we know these two added to 0.6, what's this spot got to be?
0.3.
Because together they have to add up to?
0.9.
Correct. Now, since they add up to 0.9, the last one is 0.1. How many of you had it perfect? Cool. That is called a probability Venn. Now that we have the probability Venn, I could say, what's the probability of soccer? This is nice because you don't have to divide it by anything. Why? Because they're already probabilities. Action Jackson, what do you say? If you said the answer, I couldn't hear you. You got this or no? Okay. Hint, soccer. Ask these people if they play soccer. No. Do these people play soccer? Yes. Do these people play soccer?
Yeah.
So together, 0.5. And if you want to really divide by something, you divide by 1, which doesn't really do anything, does it? Because if you added them all up, it adds up to 1.0. So yeah, you could divide by 1. I wouldn't mark it wrong, but it's kind of dumb. That's it, 0.5. Now, I get a lot of people think the answer is 0.3. Do you get that these people in the middle also play soccer? They have to be included. 0.3 was wrong. Okay. Now, let's do another type of question that you had on a worksheet just yesterday. Let's say that this is 8, and this is 8, and this is 8, and this is 8. That makes it a square. Let's say that this total is 17. Can you figure out what that side is? Of course you can. My question is, what's the probability that you'd hit the red stripes? Well, one other thing that I'd have to tell you, you're gonna land inside one of those boxes. And it's like you're dropping something out of a helicopter down onto the field. You're not sure where the wind's gonna blow it. Then what's the probability that it'll land in the red stripes? Well, all probabilities ever are what you want over what's possible. So we want the red stripes. 64. What's possible? Well, that's a little harder. It's the whole area. This one, in case you weren't able to read my scratchy drawing, that was supposed to be 8 also. Why? Because this is 8, and they're supposed to be the same. And then that 17 times the 8 is what's on the bottom. Now, you better make sure your calculator instincts are good. There's a way to screw this up. If you type this in wrong, you're going to get the wrong answer. Everybody type it in. In a second, I'm going to call on a couple random kids to tell me what they got on the calculator. Jack, do you have a comment or question?
No, I was thinking, I'm not sure of what I was thinking.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Now, I've done these for a long time, and I went and did the bottom first. Because I knew that if I tried 64 divided by 17 and then times 8, it would probably start with 64 divided by 17, and that's not what I want, right? So I did the bottom part. Now, two numbers you really can't mess up. 64 divided by 136. And your final answer should have been 0.47. Question.
Not a question, but I was also gonna say, you can literally just do 8/17.
Let me see if 8/17 reduces to that. What is 8 divided by 17? You are right. Nice job. And I see what you're seeing. You're saying that the whole thing is 17, and it's like you're only landing in this part. I like it. Definitely a different way to think, but you are right. Sam's kills comes out to exactly 0.4705. All right. Okay, what else is on the test? Well, you get this kind where you multiply choices. You get the kind where you have a Venn diagram. You get the kind where you have to build a Venn diagram. Oh, how about union intersect? Let's just make sure you really got that. All right. Sylvia, 2 favorite restaurants. Okay. Stephanie, 2 favorite restaurants. Never go out to eat. Okay, how about Chipotle? It's nearby.
Chick-fil-A.
Okay. Then, if I give you 4, 10, 2, and 1, what's the probability of C union CF? C stands for Chipotle. CF is Chick-fil-A. Do you get the U symbol? Yes. Kinzer, what does the union symbol mean? A big answer or small answer? Yep. It's like or. Do you like Chipotle or Chick-fil-A? Yes. Do you like Chipotle or Chick-fil-A? Yes. Do you like Chipotle or Chick-fil-A? Yes. Do you like Chipotle or Chick-fil-A? No. So it's almost everybody was yes. So 16 out of 17. Raise your hand if you had that one right. Cool. Now let's make it a not question. Probability, I ask a random person and they do not like Chick-fil-A. There's 2 ways to do it. You can kind of think it through, or you can go find the probability of Chick-fil-A and then do 1 minus that. Do you remember the not thing? It's like if there's a 20% chance of rain, the chance of not rain is 80%. You just take it away from 100. So if you want to find the Chick-fil-A probability and then just do 1 minus that, it would totally work. All right, everybody give this one your best shot and ask the kid next to you if they got the same thing as you. Do you guys agree there's 17 people possible? Then, if I don't want Chick-fil-A, you can ask each group. Do you like Chick-fil-A? No. Oh, so they're in the group. They're in the not Chick-fil-A group. Do you like Chick-fil-A? No. 3 out of 17. The other way you could have done it is to find the probability of Chick-fil-A, which was these two, 14 out of 17, but then you got to go 1 minus that. And 1 is like 17 over 17, so that's 3 out of 17 again. Either way, it's 3 out of 17. Should I do another one like that? How many of you got that right the first time without help? Okay, good. And then I guess we don't need to do another one like that. Now, you have a Schoology quiz, which I think will help you prepare for the test. And you're likely to get stuck on it at some point. The question will be whether you'll have the guts to walk up and ask a question. If you do, it'll really help, and you'll probably get a good score tomorrow. It's that simple. You just got to ask for help if you get stuck. Or ask the kid near you. That's totally okay. And there is also a worksheet. And I get, there's 2 things at once. What the heck? The Schoology quiz is the required part. because I had to have something the juniors could do. You know how juniors are doing async day today? So I had to have something the juniors could do. And so you guys and the juniors all are just having that one Schoology quiz. So what's the other worksheet? It's optional. It's there in case you really care a lot about your math grade right now. Some of you are doing fine and you're not worried about the test and you're going to be fine. Others of you are like, dang, I really need an A in this class and I've only got like a B plus right now. Then do some extra practice. Okay, so the Schoology quiz is required. That means everybody needs to open the Schoology quiz now. Everybody, find it, open it, and I will come and check on you in a bit. I can do it digitally. I can just look and see who's in there, and then come up and ask me questions.